Well, let's cheer you up. Let's go into the realm of boxing. This time you didn't do Avni Yildirim.
Yeah, it wasn't Turkish.
This was
Guys,
Brixton.
I am happy. It is with pleasure that I announce to you lot that our boy Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte has redeemed himself in emphatic fashion. Well done, blood.
Congratulations, Dillian. So for those of you who missed it and do not know, I don't know where you are, living under a rock in Gibraltar maybe.
Oh!
The Rumble on the Rocks in Gibraltar. Eddie Hearn set up the rematch. Alexander Povetkin took on Dillian Whyte.
For a second time, obviously he did say the rematch. For a second time.
Just to clarify that.
Yes.
And Dillian Whyte, like Miles said, emphatically put an exclamation mark on this rivalry. I don't think it needs to be revisited. There is no reason for a third. Dillian dominated, bullied, and eventually knocked out Alexander Povetkin in round number 4. Superb performance. He looked brilliant.
Absolutely.
He looked sharp, fit,
Dillian
strong.
Whyte, he came in very good shape. There's a lot of things to kind of go into and zero in on, if you like. He came in phenomenal shape for Dillian Whyte. He's not an Instagram model. He's Dillian Whyte. He's always a little bit. The word is not pudgy. He's just big. He's big. Yeah. And he has been away. So since he's been away for so long that he's had a newborn child. He's four months old now. Did you know this?
No.
His youth is 4 months old. He's not seen him. He's never seen his youth face to face yet because he's just been away training.
That's mad.
He's removing himself from distractions. So for me, that's crazy. That's commendable. That's a sacrifice. Yeah. So well done for that. He came in again. Another thing I don't think you know. I don't know, but he had an injury. So that straight after the fight, IFL TV. What's his name? Big guy, man. The big guy from IFL, bruv. Kugan Cassius. Interviewed him, and he's like, what they don't know is that my leg is bookered. My left hamstring, I think it was his left leg, is mashed up. He had something on there. I didn't see it properly clearly. And
What, during the first fight?
no, this fight, his hamstring, this weekend was injured, and he started removing something. And he was like, he was in excruciating pain. I'm in severe pain.
I am in pain. I am in severe pain.
And yeah, he put in a lot to get this win. Like he said, I shouldn't have lost the first one, and he shouldn't have. But it was a silly mistake, albeit a small one. Ultimately he paid the price.
It wasn't a silly mistake, but it was just it was boxing, innit?
It's boxing, no, but we spoke about this. He left himself open. It's the same way. To be honest, the same way he's been floored several times. He leaves himself open. There's this, less than a millisecond opening where you can catch him with that uppercut as he comes, he comes in, and that's exactly what happened the first time round. We spoke about this in depth, the episode that kind of came after the fight. But he corrected his mistakes. Again, by nature, he's not the slickest boxer. His IQ is very good.
Yeah, definitely.
His IQ is very, very good. But he's not the slickest boxer. He's not the prettiest looking, boxer in terms of movement and that. But he was by far the better fighter of the night. He deserved that win. And he did everything he had to do to get
one thing we've said so many times, and I feel as though even still to this day, he's not appreciated.
No, absolutely
he
not.
is hugely underrated. It's actually scary how underrated Dillian Whyte is. The reason being, I see it, is that obviously he's not the market machine that an AJ is, yeah? Or he doesn't have the hardcore following like a Tyson Fury, for example. Or he doesn't have the one hitter quitter like he does, but like a Deontay Wilder, where everyone will get behind them no matter what. Dillian's always been this guy who's had it's a 50-50
He's not the
kind of
greatest
fan base.
speaker. You know, interview.
He's just a real guy in general.
He's just very, very real.
He's not filtered. There's no
Yes.
filter on him, so he'll say what he likes, whether you like it or not. Yeah, and even if it makes him look like a bad guy, which he's genuinely not, you can. But if you know him, we don't know him personally, but from what you can see and from people that have met him and stuff, I said he's a genuine nice guy.
No, he's a good guy, man.
And you can tell he is. Like even after the fight, after he knocked down Povetkin, he didn't have to.
Oh, bam.
He went straight to his corner, grabbed his stool, sat him down, and made sure he was all right.
Yeah.
Small things like that. You know, you're going to war, you want to take the guy's head off.
And
But
to be
afterwards, done. Cool.
Yeah,
Hope you're right.
I don't think he was doing it for show, because in the heat of the moment, he's thinking about the win. He's thinking about redemption. He's not thinking about, right, is this guy okay? But he was. So
He's made so many different. He's made so many adjustments to his camp, to himself, and you know that's like, you know, you said he's been away, he hasn't seen his kid for 4 months, etc. That is like, in other words, like starving yourself.
yeah.
And that's
It's like a rehab
starving of seeing your friends and your family and actually enjoying your life benefited him.
Yeah.
Because he came in focused on the plan, what to do. He didn't make a single mistake in there. He bullied Povetkin. Yeah, Povetkin's 41 now, probably past his prime, but Povetkin's dangerous and will knock a lot of guys out still.
Povetkin remains dangerous, man. Yeah.
But Povetkin just didn't get going, couldn't get started, and was just not in it at all.
A couple of people saying that there was something up with him on the night.
No, I don't think there's anything up with him. I just think Dillian, like it was the same in the first fight. Dillian was beating him up in the first fight until he got hit.
Yeah.
He knocked him down twice in round 4.
Yeah.
This one, he ended it in round 4. And you saw a couple times he hurt him. He wanted to rush in, but he slowed himself down. Patient. Waited for the right opportunity. And then when he got it, because sometimes with Dillian, again, you said it, he's not the prettiest and the slickest fighter. So a few of his shots look wingy. Like he's winging them.
Yes.
Like his hooks come in a bit.
They're not orthodox.
Yeah. But he's so strong and powerful that if he hits you, he'll buzz you. But what happened is he slowed himself down, waited for the right openings, landed a beautiful straight right, knocked Povetkin into the ropes, come back,
That hook,
and then the hook again, and then
that
it was
really
just done.
messy but savage hook of his is just insane, man.
Yeah,
and that's what.
bro, you can't deny him anymore, man. He deserves it. If you look at his CV, his resumes, look at his record, look at the guys he's fought, look at the guys he's beat. Yeah. His 2 losses are Joshua and Povetkin.
One of them which he's basically cancelled out, if you like.
Exactly. 2 of the elite
the other
guys.
as well.
And then he's beat the likes of Joseph Parker, Derek Chisora twice, Oscar Rivas,
Whack.
Marius Wack.
Who else did he fought, bro?
It's bad.
Did he fight Takam or no? Who fought them?
Joshua fought Takam. I don't know.
I know that someone else fought Takam after. Anyway, but he's basically he's fought everybody. And the thing is, even if they're lesser known names, but they are very, very dangerous, he takes them on. So he takes the craziest risks.
He's taken on he's literally gone through everyone now.
Yeah, I mean, look, yeah.
Wack, Rivas, Chisora, Parker, Lucas Brown, Robert Hellenius, Derek Chisora again, Ian Lewison, David Allen. Like, these guys are decent, and some of them are very, very good. Do you get me? And he's taken them on, and he's dispatched or dealt with them accordingly. Man, how long was he number 1 contender for Deontay Wilder? Over a year.
1,000 days, bro.
Over a year?
Was it 1,000 days? Something crazy.
Yeah, more than 1,000 days.
More than 1,000 days, bro.
That's what, over 2 years?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Closer to 3.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. You can't deny him now. You cannot deny him. He has to get the winner of Fury and Joshua.
And he's not going to. No, sorry, he will, but that's not his next fight.
Oh, of course not.
That's not his next fight.
Unless he
I think, though, to be honest, I think so. If the winner of AJ Fury is AJ, but he could potentially make light work of him.
Who?
Fury. What? Come on, man.
Deontay Wilder?
No.
Why?
Dillian Whyte can beat AJ. I believe so. I know he lost, obviously, their first fight, but he gave him problems early on in the fight, number 1. AJ couldn't deal with that. But AJ just keeps getting better and better as well. So it's a difficult one to say. But, again, if anybody can beat Fury or anybody's going to give Fury problems, it's actually going to be Whyte.
Yeah.
Whyte can take a hit. Fury cannot hit that hard. Not as hard as AJ who knocked him out. Not as hard as Povetkin who knocked him out. He cannot hit that hard. he doesn't have the knockout power. He doesn't have the power to knock out Dillian Whyte. And to add to it, Fury's IQ is insane. I'm not going to lie to you. But Dillian Whyte is not far off. He's not far off. And his power, I think he's got enough volume, I think, to take out Tyson Fury, potentially. It's going to give him problems. It's similar to what we're having about Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo. It's like, if someone can do it, because we see Fury as unbeatable. I know you disagree with me because you've gone super quiet.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Genuinely, I think that there are a lot of facets to, even though Dillian Whyte is not the most complete boxer out there.
No, that's why I think he gives Fury problems.
Yeah,
I agree with you in that sense. I just think his unorthodox style, his frantic and weird sort of.
I said frantic and weird.
Like, I don't have to explain it. He's very. Yeah. He's not a traditional boxer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's come from a kickboxing background.
Yeah.
And he applies that stance sometimes. Very Muay Thai kickboxing, like the way he moves. And his hands and he's bouncy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think to beat Fury, you need to... a traditional boxing style, a Klitschko, a Joshua, these kind of guys I don't think are going to cause him problems. I think something unorthodox, someone crazy, someone like a Tyson Fury... will beat Tyson Fury.
And to be honest, Dillian Whyte, a lot of people might be thinking this guy is crazy, me, about my opinion, but I think Dillian Whyte is the only heavyweight right now with an actual puncher's chance of taking him out. And he could... I want to see that fight, and he deserves that fight, and he deserves...
I don't think you'll be able to take out Fury like that, though. I think the only way of taking him out or beating Fury is to pressure him. And literally constantly apply pressure and try and force a stopping.
No, but that's what he does. That's exactly it. That's what he does, and that's.
I thought you meant like one punch and sleeping.
He doesn't. Well, if Wilder couldn't do it, or almost did, but Wilder couldn't do it. And let's be serious, Wilder's the heaviest puncher in the world. Do you get me?
Yeah.
It's just going to take volume to take him out. It's going to take volume to take Tyson out. Maybe
maybe get
a referee.
I just want people to start giving him the
props
respect
that he deserves, man.
and the props that he deserves, because he's fought. If you look at records of the top guys, he's arguably got one of the best resumes, if not the best resume.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he hasn't got the marquee name that these guys have, but if you look at it as a whole, he's defeated nearly everyone below. And it's just not his fault he's been starved of the big fight.
He's been starved, bro.
The WBC were petrified. Right? Mauricio Suleiman and Deontay Wilder. I respect them. I like Wilder in the ring anyway. I think sometimes he's a bit of a dramatic, like Leonardo DiCaprio fossil. But...
What? I beg you explain that to us.
Just very dramatic and actor. You know what I'm saying? He's a nut, bro.
DiCaprio.
You know what I mean? Just bare like everything's over dramatized.
Okay, yeah.
No, that thing that he says. What does he do that you always used to quote him?
Don't know, bro.
Is that always that one quote? I'm a preacher thing.
You're Wilder.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Fury. I was like, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about Deontay Wilder.
Deontay Wilder, bruv. That guy's over dramatic. I was anointed by God.
That's it. That one. I'm saying. I said I'm a preacher.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
My grandmother told me I was anointed by God.
Yeah.
Your king has risen from the ashes like a phoenix.
Your king is in great spirit, and we will rise like a phoenix from the ashes and regain the title.
Bruv, I really thought you were talking about Fury.
No.
So I was like, what are you talking about?
No, not Fury. Fury, come.
Over dramatic, that speaking from his breath. Like, just shut up, man.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's my time, man.
Leonardo DiCaprio just drew everything. Just 10 out of 10 BAFTA. And
it's full dramatics.
Yeah, so I feel though those guys starved him of a fight, and it wasn't his fault because they knew he would have beaten him or given him a big problem. Like if White got the fight when he should have got the fight, this Fury, the whole scene would have been different.
Up, yeah.
Do you get me?
But that's what they didn't want.
It's mad.
That's what they didn't want. They were happy to have
and
these
White
two.
always says it, and people do get annoyed, and people are like, oh, he's overreacting and whatnot. But he always says in nearly every interview he does, especially with Coogan, is they don't want me to win. They don't want me to succeed.
Yeah.
I don't get the push that that the other guys do.
Absolutely.
They get marketed
Absolutely
differently.
doesn't.
I wasn't brought up with a silver spoon kind of thing. I was branded as a thug beforehand, and it's the reality of the game.
But you know what?
It's as harsh as it is.
Actually, very.
But again, he knows, and he's smart enough to know I'm going to keep winning, keep picking up these brownie points, as you know,
Disgusting, bro.
and continue on with the career. You can't deny a winner. You cannot deny a winner. So,
and no, the thing is that opinion that a lot of people hold of him, he's changing that very quickly as well. Well, it's taken years, but
I didn't take to him at the beginning. I'll be very honest with you. At
I
the
just thought
start
this
of
guy
his
can't
career,
speak, man.
I was just
Sublime.
like, he sounds very like I can't explain.
He's
the exact
uninterested.
word,
He sounded
but
uninterested. He sounded very rough around the edges. He's not that media. What do you call it? You know when they
no. To be honest, he was being himself. He's
Yeah,
always been the same.
yeah.
I didn't know
Same.
enough about him to make a judgment at the time. So at the beginning, I was just like, "Who's this guy who's come out of nowhere?" kind of thing, and he's being himself. But at the time, I was like, "It's kind of mad, like."
Yeah.
He's being mad, like aggressive. And
Yeah. He didn't give a hoot them times.
But the more you understand, the more you've seen him, you realise that this guy's actually jokes. He's hilarious. And these interviews with Coogan,
Coogan are funny,
you
man.
cannot understand. You won't understand until
My
you.
uncle from India.
It's too funny,
man.
They just go back and forth and good guy. And I think it's about time that he gets that title shot. It would be amazing to see him against the winner of Fury or Joshua.
Please,
him and Fury fight is amazing, but him and Joshua too is amazing as well.
Him
It
versus
doesn't matter.
Wilder. If
I
that's
think the next fight they should do is Deontay and him.
They should do that. I don't know if it will be the case. It could be him. It could also be Ruiz Jr.
I would love to see him and Andy Ruiz.
That would be that's a tougher fight than Wilder, man. That's a much tougher
100%.
fight than Wilder.
I think he cleans up Wilder.
I think so too, bro. I think so too. I think they've got
if he-
similar strength.
He
They've got
pressures
similar
him.
power. Sorry.
He pressures him.
Yeah.
And
We've got the blueprint. That's it. They all have the blueprint now. Just pressure him, and that's what he does. Maybe even more so than Tyson does.
yeah,
You get me?
but he's got to be smart.
Yeah.
Because Tyson was smart with that pressure,
Absolutely.
educated
That's
pressure.
the difference in IQ again. That's what I was talking about. So it's a bit mad. Ruiz is going to be a bit of a tough fight for him actually, even though it's just crazy. Styles make fights, isn't it? So Ruiz is going to be tougher to deal with than Wilder is, and actually for a lot of people, Ruiz is going to be a problem. But just because he became champion, he lost that, he's kind of just dropped bare in the rankings, and it's like he's not relevant. There's a lot of heavyweight boxers that are not relevant just because they haven't got the name. Do you understand? But they're all dangerous. They're all so dangerous.
Oscar Rivas was a prime example.
Yeah.
Super dangerous fight, but just no one knew him at the time.
Joyce is coming up. He's not far.
The boy's still
I
around.
don't know
there.
about Usyk, man. I just feel like I know he used to be a heavyweight and whatnot, but I just don't think he carries that power.
Same.
So he's going to depend on.
I think the super heavyweights will deal with him.
Yeah.
The smaller heavyweights,
Yeah, he'll take them out.
He'll deal with them very comfortably. But the bigger guys like the Furies and the Joshuas, even the Whites, etc. Like you've seen the problems that Derek gave him.
Exactly, and Derek is by far but nowhere near these guys' level. To be honest, do you get me? So it's mad. It's interesting though. The heavyweight division is being shaken up again. You get me?
He's back. Congratulations, brother.
Congratulations, Dillian, man. That was good to see. Very happy. He wanted to take him out in the first round.
Yeah.
That would have been a bit naive to try and achieve, but I get why. He wanted to do it in complete, like with no doubt about the situation or about the matter. But he didn't. He took his time. He's jabbed. He worked behind it. So I'm trying to pick something off the floor, but I can't reach it. Worked behind his jab. That's what works for him. That's what broke him down. His jab is not flipping like mine. His jab is a straight right. You get me?
Yeah.
His jab is a straight right, bruv. It hurts. So
His dab's a straight right.
So
Yeah,
that was
man.
that.
Good win.
Brilliant.